and the omnibus. So I was forced into the Archers when I was a child. And look, it's come back to bite me later on. I'm awash with this stuff.
The Archers is the world's longest-running radio show, with more than 15,000 episodes broadcast. Despite being a rural flavor show, The Archers is recorded in the heart of...
Have you ever been in a spot where, well, you have to perform, push through something, but your heart's just not really in it?
Oh, definitely. Or maybe a chat that seems totally casual on the surface.
Yeah, and then it turns out to be loaded with all this complexity you didn't see coming.
And what about trying to, really connect with someone you care about when life is just relentless, so busy?
Exactly. Feeling like you're just running on empty all the time.
Yeah.
These aren't small things, are they? They feel quite profound, revealing a lot about us, about our relationship.
They really are. These are those, often quiet moments, easily overlooked maybe, but they genuinely define our human experience.
Yeah.
They're like the hidden currents shaping everyday life. Seemingly small interactions holding huge emotional weight.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's precisely what we're diving into today on the Deep Dive. We take everyday conversations, look closely, and find these incredible layers of insight underneath. Today, our source material is particularly rich. We're listening closely to an audio narrative from BBC Radio 4's The Archers.
Ah, yes, the long-running drama. Known for its detailed look at everyday life, isn't it? Community dynamics in a fictional village.
That's the one. And our mission here is to pull out the key nuggets about navigating personal ethics, maybe confronting social biases, and that really critical art of communication.
It's a fascinating window into a community for sure, but it also shows these universal truths, doesn't it? About how we interact, how we wrestle with our own conscience sometimes.
And how we connect, genuinely connect.
Right. Seeing the whole story, not just what's on the surface.
So we've got 3 distinct threads we're going to pull on today, but they're also deeply connected.
Okay.
First, we'll dig into the internal conflict of a sportsman. He's got amazing skill, but he's balancing that with his conscience, really questioning what a win even means. Then, we're going to unpack something maybe a bit surprising. How common social bias can be in community settings, how it pops up, and importantly, the role of allyship in tackling it.
Crucial topic.
And finally, we'll explore those often unseen struggles within a relationship. The challenges of, real connection when there are all these external pressures silently chipping away.
Yeah, that sounds like it covers a lot of ground. It really shows how easily we miss the full picture, doesn't it? How much is going on beneath apparently simple interactions.
Developing a sharper lens, maybe.
Exactly, a sharper lens for the human experience.
Okay, so get ready for an insightful journey. We'll unpack how these everyday moments can shine a light on universal human experiences, maybe offer some aha moments about our own lives, our own interactions. Let's unpack this.
Let's do it.
Right, so our first thread takes us straight to the cricket pitch. We meet Henry. He's a really talented bowler. He has this, Fingal calls it a killer style. He bowls short, which means the ball pitches closer to the batter. It's aggressive, potentially dangerous.
Right, puts the batter on the back foot immediately.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's incredibly effective. He's actually described as the secret weapon, the one they bring out when the team's really struggling. Chips are down.
The impact player.
Totally. He's taking wickets. Everyone's cheering, telling me he's great. But despite all this success, despite being the hero of the moment, Henry isn't happy.
Oh.
No. He's got this nagging feeling, this worry about his own bowling style. He calls it risky. What does that tell us? This immediate conflict, right in a moment of triumph.
Well, it's fascinating, isn't it? Because even when he's getting all this external praise, his internal sense of right and wrong is buzzing. It's active.
Yeah.
Henry's experience here really shines a light on a universal thing. External validation, like the team winning, often clashes directly with our internal moral compass. For him, the key takeaway seems to be that real success isn't just about the outcome. It's about how you get there. Can you live with the consequences? Especially when your actions affect others. He's wrestling with personal ethics. It's much more than just a sports story.
And you can feel the pressure from his teammates, can't you? Just enjoy it, they say. Carry on like you were before. They just want the win.
The goal justifies the means, in their eyes, perhaps.
But then something happens that makes it even trickier. The next 2 batters are women. And Henry says he's reluctant to bowl his aggressive short style at them. He says very plainly, I don't want to hurt them.
Okay.
And Chelsea immediately pushes back, calls it sexist. She asks why he'd bolt differently against women. This is a real ethical nod, isn't it?
Yeah.
How do you navigate that line? Genuine concern for safety versus potentially reinforcing biases.
Precisely. And it's a really complex question, that line between genuinely wanting to protect someone and maybe inadvertently perpetuating stereotypes. Henry's concern for safety seems understandable. Maybe it's chivalry, maybe just fear of causing harm. But Chelsea's reaction is sharp, and it shows how easily even well-intentioned actions, if they treat people differently based on gender, can be misinterpreted.
Or actually reinforce bias.
Right, even if that wasn't the intent. Especially in sports, where there's this big societal push for gender equality. Differential treatment, even if protective, can look like undermining competence or implying vulnerability.
And the comments around him, go get him. Women don't want to be treated differently. That shows the pressure, right? Maintain that equal playing field.
Huge pressure. Even when his own conscience objects to the method, it's not about whether he should care, perhaps, but how that care gets expressed in today's context.
He's really caught, isn't he?
Yeah.
Between his ethics, the game's demands, maybe unspoken ideas about gender equality in sport.
Definitely caught.
Ultimately, despite his reservations, he does carry on, bowls this fierce, very short style. And the result, another wicket. A fantastic catch. A win for the team, moving them a step in the right direction to avoid relegation.
So the strategy worked from the team's perspective.
It did. But
Yeah.
someone does get hurt. The opposing batter is sent to A&E, just as a precaution, apparently. But she's visibly upset, crying even.
Oh, dear.
And Henry is absolutely devastated. He asks, and it's quite heart-wrenching, what if I'd broken her fingers? He just hates hurting people. Even with the win, he says, why doesn't it feel like that? He doesn't feel good at all.
This is such a clear example of, well, maybe a moral victory for the team clashing with what feels like an ethical defeat for him personally.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
The team gets what it wanted, the win, better standing. But Henry's left with this deep unease. His conscience is clearly troubled by the injury, regardless of the competitive context or the team's success.
It overrides the cheers.
It absolutely does. It shows how our internal sense of right and wrong can often just trump external validation. For Henry, the cost of winning was a heavy burden on his integrity. And that's a universal struggle, isn't it? How often do we reach a goal but feel hollow about how we got there? His emotional honesty is really striking. It's a powerful reminder to keep checking in with our own ethics, even when the crowd is roaring for the win.
So true. Now, while Henry was grappling with these internal dilemmas on the pitch, sometimes the battle isn't inside us. It's right out in the open, how we confront prejudice in our communities.
Right.
And that takes us to Chelsea later on. She's recounting this really troubling encounter at the local golf club.
Okay.
She mentions this character, Lawrence, from Rosarin in the Vale, describes him as nasty and really sexist towards her and Zainab.
Right. Unpleasant behavior.
And apparently, it's not a one-off. Zainab also says he was horrible to Khalil a couple of months back, which leads Chelsea to suspect he might be racist too. What's the significance here of identifying these behaviors specifically? Not just rude, but sexist, potentially racist?
Well, what's fascinating is how quickly these individual experiences start to paint a picture, a pattern of behavior. It points towards a broader social issue, doesn't it? Lawrence isn't just being unpleasant in general. His actions are being labeled specifically as sexist and maybe racist. This shifts it from just, oh, he's a nasty person, to recognizing how ingrained biases can actually play out in everyday settings, like a golf club.
No, somewhere seemingly ordinary.
Exactly, and how that impacts people within the community. It highlights that these issues aren't just for big political debates. They're right here in our local, seemingly benign interactions. Naming the behavior sexism, racism moves it beyond just personal offense. It acknowledges systemic issues that hurt people and undermine inclusivity.
And the impact of that kind of behavior, especially, she mentions, Lawrence's chair or something at the club, what does that add to the mix?
Ah, that's a crucial detail. When someone in a position of authority, like a club chair, behaves like that, it can create a really unwelcoming environment, maybe even hostile.
Makes it harder to speak up.
Definitely. People might feel powerless, worry about repercussions, or just assume their concerns won't be taken seriously. It can almost normalize the behavior, making it seem acceptable within that group. It really underscores the responsibility that comes with leadership, doesn't it? How vital it is for people in charge to set an example and uphold inclusive values.
And what's really significant here, maybe encouraging even, is the response. Chelsea mentions quite surprised that Martin Gibson actually put in a complaint for them to the club.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, she says Martin was great about it. Why is Martin's decision to file a formal complaint so critical here? What does that act signify beyond just this one incident?
This is where you see the community, or at least part of it, actively pushing back. Identifying bias is one step, confronting it, taking action, that's another level. Martin Gibson filing a formal complaint isn't just about supporting Chelsea and Zainab in that moment. It's a clear example of an ally stepping up. It shows the importance of not just noticing bad behavior, but actively working to address it through the proper channels.
Validates their experience too, I imagine.
Incredibly important, yes. It validates their experience and sends a strong message. This behavior isn't acceptable here. It also shows that even in tight-knit communities, you need mechanisms for accountability.
Right.
It shifts the burden a bit, doesn't it? From the victims having to deal with it alone to the community taking some responsibility. It shows that collective effort is key in maintaining standards of respect.
So it's not just about stopping Lawrence, it's about affirming the club's values, protecting its members.
Exactly that. It's about drawing a line, saying this isn't who we are, this behavior won't be tolerated. It sets a precedent. It reinforces the idea that while biases might exist, so can the will to challenge them, especially when people are supported by others. It's a powerful act of collective self-regulation, you could say.
Okay, so from these more public arenas, the sports field, the community club, we now turn inwards to maybe the most intimate space, our personal relationships, where unseen struggles can create even deeper divisions. Let's delve into Linda and Robert's story, which also unfolds right there at the cricket match.
Okay.
Initially, their interaction seems, well, almost mundane. Linda's worried about Robert catching the sun. There's this subtle tension about sun cream.
Right, everyday stuff.
But it escalates really quickly. Linda accuses Robert of berating her, which he denies. What's really going on here? How does sun cream become such a flashpoint?
Well, it's fascinating how something seemingly trivial like sun cream can just become a trigger for much deeper unaddressed issues, isn't it?
Definitely feels like there's more to it.
It's a classic case of the surface conversation masking these significant emotional burdens underneath. Robert's defensiveness, Linda feeling berated. It immediately signals a lack of connection, a lack of understanding between them at that moment.
Like their emotional cups are already full.
Exactly. Which makes even small disagreements feel like huge conflicts. This happens a lot in relationships when one or both partners are carrying unspoken stress. A minor irritant becomes the last straw. It's almost a cry for attention, even if it comes out sounding like frustration.
The real issue then surfaces, doesn't it? Linda points out Robert's been away for more than a fortnight, helping Leon. She says she feels neglected, that he was practically monosyllabic on the phone.
The lack of communication.
And Robert, clearly worn down, finally lets it out, his deep frustration. I sometimes feel like I'm competing with the whole of Ambridge for your attention. Wow, that's a massive revelation, isn't it? What has he actually been carrying?
This is the absolute crux of it, isn't it? Where the unseen burden finally spills out. Robert wasn't just away helping Leon. He reveals he was basically acting as chief cook and bottle washer, nanny, driver, nurse, and psychotherapist for Leon.
Good grief.
Yeah. Leon was apparently in severe pain, really irritable, and also dealing with some long-distance argument that was upsetting her son. And on top of that, Robert was trying to manage Lillian, Leon's mother, keeping her from just descending on the house uninvited and adding to the chaos.
That sounds incredibly stressful. An emotional and physical marathon.
Absolutely. The emotional labor involved for Robert was immense. He was performing all this unseen work, managing his own stress, navigating Leon's and Lillian's emotional needs, plus all the practical tasks. This kind of hidden burden, often carried silently, eventually just created this huge rift between him and Linda.
And the fact he kept it all inside, feeling there was no space, no time, that Linda wasn't interested. That speaks volumes about the communication breakdown, right? Why couldn't he share it sooner?
He felt unheard, didn't he? Unseen, unsupported. Not necessarily because Linda genuinely didn't care, but because the space for that real connection had been maybe inadvertently squeezed out by everything else going on. When we're overwhelmed, it's incredibly hard to articulate our needs. Sometimes we assume our partner isn't interested or maybe wouldn't grasp the depth of the struggle. Robert feeling he's competing with the whole of Ambridge for Linda's attention while she's busy, as the cricket club chair, really highlights that challenge, doesn't it? Balancing relationships with demanding external roles.
Yeah.
It's such a powerful reminder that our loved ones often carry silent burdens. And it's kind of our job, maybe, to create an environment where those burdens can be shared, not just assuming everything's okay because nothing's being explicitly said.
And what a powerful thing for him to finally say, sometimes I need you more than they do. And this was one of those times.
So direct, so vulnerable.
And Linda, when she hears the full story, the raw account, she's genuinely shocked. She says she had no idea whatsoever he was having such a tough time. She apologizes. And you feel this clear moment of reconnection, a promise not to share the sensitive details about Leon and Lillian. This isn't just a simple argument, is it? It's proof of how vital it is to make space for real, deep communication, especially when life gets messy.
Absolutely. The healing comes from finally making that space, even amidst the noise of a cricket match, for Robert to voice his unseen struggles. Linda's shock, her no idea whatsoever, really shows how easily we can project our own reality onto others. We assume a shared understanding that just isn't there, especially when we're wrapped up in our own busy lives. It underlines that connection needs intentional effort, a willingness to truly listen, to notice not just what's said, but what isn't said, to recognize the signs of someone fighting an unseen battle, even those closest to us.
Empathy isn't passive then.
Not at all. It's an active process, seeking to understand the full, often hidden story of another person. Their story is just such a powerful lesson in how intimacy can quietly erode and the profound healing that comes from feeling truly heard.
So let's recap. What have we uncovered in this deep dive today? We saw Henry grappling with the ethics of his bowling. Winning the match, yes, but questioning the cost to his conscience and to the player who got hurt.
That tension between external success and internal alignment, really clear there.
And we highlighted Chelsea and Zanab's experience at the golf club, Lawrence's nasty sexist behavior, but also, crucially, Martin Gibson stepping up, filing that complaint.
Yes, underscoring the importance of not just seeing bias, but actively confronting it, fostering that allyship within a community.
And finally, we explored Linda and Robert's relationship, that breakdown and then the repair, revealing those immense hidden burdens Robert carried, and just how vital, clear, intentional communication is, creating dedicated space for connection, even when time feels impossibly scarce.
Right. From the cricket pitch to the golf club to those quiet moments between partners, these conversations might seem separate, but they really illustrate a common thread, don't they?
Yeah.
Complex interplay between our individual actions, what the community expects, and those often unspoken emotional landscapes we're all navigating every single day.
We've seen personal ethics clash with competitive drive. We've seen social biases identified and confronted.
Yeah.
And we've seen how vital it is to carve out space for genuine connection in relationships. We've peeled back some layers, I think, to see more of the full story, not just the surface stuff.
Which leaves us maybe with an important question to ponder. For you, listening, in your own life, how often do your loudest triumphs maybe mask your quietest struggles?
Ooh, good question.
And how much do you really know about the unseen battles others are fighting, even when they're right beside you?
Think about the power of observing not just what is said, but maybe what isn't. And the importance of deliberately creating space for those deeper conversations, the ones that reveal the full, complex tapestry of human experience. Until next time, keep diving deep into the world around you.
So what are you doing now?
Just getting ready for the next episode. Just
And,
moving mics around.
So what do you do?
I do the spot effects on the archers. Just any
Are you what we
movements
call Foley then?
and- kind of. Yep. That's,
Okay. And these are all part of the paraphernalia of production.
yep. That's the ball bar. That's,
This one.
yep. That's.
Haley so wanted to be in their own place when their baby came. It's due in 2 months. Not much chance of that now. No. I mean, it would have been a stretch for them financially, mind, but I just wish there was something practical I could do to help them, Caroline. I mean,
I think The Archers has had this immense popularity over the years, basically because it has always very accurately reflected the reality of life and living in a rural community at whatever